Welcome back to the pod. What is up?
Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of the Glimpse of Reality podcast. As always, I'm Z and that's Anna. So
I'm Anna.
this is our first one that we're doing separately because now we're finally back at school. I was home, longest break of my life.
Oh my God. Unfortunately, the break felt like, your entire life.
Because I have been home longer than anyone else has been home. It's ridiculous.
Well, Zach's break is legitimately 3 weeks longer than everybody else's break. So he's kind of being full on tortured right now.
Well, I'm finally back at school, so now I'm no longer tortured.
Right. It's almost like you were living in like an insane asylum. I want to say in quarantine, I felt like I was literally living in an insane asylum.
I agree.
Like in my house, like day after day after day would go by, and all of a sudden, we'd be having a family dinner and I'd stand up with a knife in my hand.
Yeah. What's that movie? It was like that movie Happy Death Day, where like you wake up and it's the same day over and over and over, and you're just like, when the hell is this gonna end? And it was never fucking ending.
Honestly, it's like half of that and like half of the Truman Show. Do you know what the Truman Show is?
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. I couldn't think Truman Show, but yeah.
So yeah, and it's literally like we're living in a freaking simulation, dude. Like I can't even tell you how much like weird dreams I have had recently.
Wait, I have never had like lucid dreams ever, and now suddenly I'm in my dream.
Oh my, okay. Yeah.
That's like, what are one of yours?
So basically last night, we're just gonna say, I had a creepy ass dream, and like I've got sleep paralysis in the past, and like it's been pretty bad to the point where I like can't breathe, to the point like not like can't breathe like, oh my God, like I need to go to the hospital, I can't breathe, but like it'll feel like a full on 2 minutes of me having to like struggle with being able to get myself up. It's like you're half awake, half asleep, and you don't even know where you are. It's weird. But last night, it was kind of along the lines of sleep paralysis. I don't want to say it was sleep paralysis because it wasn't like I was half awake, half asleep. I was sleeping, but it was almost like my dream was a reality. And it wasn't a dream. It was actually a thing. It was a thing. I don't really want to call it a dream or a nightmare. It was just odd in general. But and this has never happened to me. I mean, it might have once, but it really
hasn't. That has never happened to me.
So last night I wake up and all of a sudden I see myself looking back at myself, and I feel my own face looking back at that face, and I see the face just like staring at me, and I'm like, what the what? Like, how is that a thing? Like, oh my God.
I'll tell you one thing. I wake up every morning and I'll be like, that was such a weird dream, and then I'll forget it. I have one dream that I still remember. It was like so long ago. I've never heard anyone else have this type of experience that I've had. But I was dreaming, and it was a normal dream. I was out, I was partying, but like in my dream, I was like drinking. I was at like a party, so I was drinking in my dream. And I literally wake up like hungover. And I didn't drink the night before. Like I literally felt so sick.
That's so weird.
How weird.
So like during your dream, you were basically like partying, like fist bumping and like getting mad fucked up, and then you woke up and it wasn't like.
Yeah, I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so hungover. And then I'm like, I didn't even drink last night. And I was like, oh my God, it was from the dream. That is so weird. God.
I had a weird ass dream, and I was in an auditorium, like an auditorium.
I hate auditorium.
And they just give me like such concrete jungle vibes. Like it's too big.
They give me such like
cold vibes, like chilly. Yeah. I was on like a birth table, like a table you give birth on, in the middle of the auditorium, and like a crowd around me was watching. So it was basically it was like a what's it called birth, like a public birth. And it was in an auditorium, and there was like a nurse standing over me wearing like a pink Playboy bunny outfit. Like my brain is so deranged. I really don't know like how it comes up or thinks of these things when I dream. It just does, but it gets weirder. So I'm literally like about to give birth on this table in the middle of a fucking auditorium, right? Weird as shit. So all of a sudden, the worm from SpongeBob that screams chocolate, like chocolate, like that worm that sits on the wheelchair. launches out of my vagina. Launched.
Ew, so weird.
It launched across the whole fucking stadium. Like, who has dreams like that? And I've also had weirder, but like, that's just one I certifiably will never, ever, ever forget. Ever.
Speaking of SpongeBob, there is one SpongeBob episode that I've literally experienced. Do you remember that episode where SpongeBob was like, he was like down in that like weird like area and he kept missing the bus?
Yes.
He literally fell off that cliff and was in that weird dungeon area.
Yes.
So I had a real life experience to this episode. It was I literally went to the Bikini Bottom and I was in that episode. Yeah, no, I'm not even kidding. I don't know if you know this because you don't go to Cuse, but we have like a north and south campus.
North and south of campus. You guys just don't associate?
Like I just don't go there. It's far.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
well, yeah, why would you?
One night I just like ended up there. And you know that SpongeBob episode, the buses, like every time he turned, the buses just kept passing him and passing him.
Yes.
Like, cause on South Campus, like you get picked up like from buses. So I go there to like some random ass apartment. I have no idea whose house I'm in, whatever, but I went because why not?
Yeah.
Then after being there for maybe 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, this is not my scene. Get me the hell out of here. So I'm like, I didn't want to Uber back because first of all, I don't have Uber. So I had to call a Lyft because I'm banned from Uber, which I could say another time, that story. But the lifts like weren't working. Like there were no lifts in sight. So I had to take the bus or have someone call me an Uber. I was like, okay, I'll just take the bus back. Like it's fine. So I go to this bus stop and I'm just like waiting there. Like, okay, like the bus will come soon enough. I'm like checking the time schedule or whatever. And then this bus comes. So I'm like, oh, finally the bus is coming. And he literally just like drives past me. So I'm like, okay.
I actually like don't understand.
That's weird.
Were you like waving your arms and stuff? Like no, he clearly saw you.
I'll tell a story. So like because there were many buses.
Okay.
So the first time I was just standing at the bus. He passes me. I'm like, okay, that was weird. Whatever. So then I wait like 5-10 more minutes and then another bus is coming. I'm like, okay, like this bus is going to stop. Like I'm literally at a bus stop and the bus passes me again. I'm like, what the f-? So I'm like confused. I'm like, is this a bus stop? Is this like not a bus stop? So finally a third bus comes. And at this point, I'm like flagging down the bus because the other two fully passed me. They saw me and they were like, we're just going to drive past him. F Z. So this bus comes and I'm waving him down. I'm like, hello, I'm at the bus stop. Passes me. I'm like, what the hell? So at that point, I'm like, this can't be a bus stop. So I walk to like another bus stop and like you can see the bus stop that I was at from the new bus stop. So I'm like waiting at this new bus stop and then I see another bus go to the old bus stop and it stops at the old bus stop.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what the hell is going on with the other three buses that didn't stop?
The worst is when you see the bus like pull up in front of you and you have to run to it and the guy literally sees you darting towards the bus and just freaking goes.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't give a shit. Like I remember like sophomore year, because this was like after freshman, the trolley had like pulled up because there's certain stops like it waits at. And I was kind of just like waiting, like I wasn't like waiting there, but I was a few feet down because I had to run to it. And I remember like from a distance, I saw it stopping like at the checkpoint or whatever, where it was supposed to stop. So I'm like, oh shoot, like I got to speed up, like I got to run. He's going to leave in like a second. So I start running towards the front of the trolley and literally like I'm sprinting, I'm sweating, like my hair's like in my face. I'm like, I'm running. I literally see him like looking at me, running towards the trolley, stares at me for like 2 Mississippi seconds and just like goes. I'm like, wait. And I like literally like watch him drive past me. I'm like waving my arms. He's like, he just goes.
So the end of the day, I had to ask someone to pick me up because these buses kept passing me. Whatever. So Anna, I don't know like if you're into like zodiacs or not. I never cared about like, I didn't even know what sign I was until recently. My friend told me to get this app. And now I'm like obsessed with.
Is it CoStar?
It's CoStar.
Oh yeah, I have CoStar.
So I was like reading all about all the different signs and I'm a Capricorn and I'm obsessed with my sign. I was reading about like Cancers and I was like, F them. What losers? Then Anna, I'm like, wait, when's your birthday? You're like July something. I was like,
I'm a Cancer.
I was like,
I'm a psychopath.
So I let it go. You know what? You're a Cancer. I let it go. I get to college. I make friends with this girl. And then I'm like, Sophia, when's your birthday? She's like, July. Oh my God. Am I surrounding myself with Cancers?
Yes.
That's going to be an issue. But I guess.
No, it's not. It's good. We're very, very supportive and therapeutic.
I guess people really say like opposites attract because Cancers and Capricorns, total opposites.
But
So
like at the same time, people, no. What bothers me though is when people that aren't their signs are like, oh, I'm a freaking Capricorn. I am my sign. Like this is me. And also
you're not
when, like,
a Capricorn.
People, no. And when people also go off because it's just like their general personality, and then you're like, wait, why are you fucking freaking out? And they respond and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a Capricorn. It's not my fault. I'm just like this. And it's like, no, bro, don't start with that. Like that is so weird. Like, please don't do that.
I want to invite my other Cancer friend to the podium, to the podcast. This is Sophia A.
Hello.
The other Cancer in the room.
Welcome.
So Sophia A and Anna are both Cancers, and I hate Cancers. I mean, who doesn't? I feel like they all have like 5 friends and they're all from like Oombly Goomblyville. Like who even are their friends, right?
Yeah, well, that's fucking true. I'm so proud of it, bitch. I love it. I love being from Oombly Goomblyville and I love my friends.
I saw this thing on TikTok and it was like telling you about how like the zodiac signs, and then it was like bashing Cancers, and then all these people in the comments,
as they should.
All these people in the comments were like, I love Cancers, like from a Libra.
Yeah, because they feel bad.
No, I think they genuinely like the sign.
I hate Virgos, and my mom's a Virgo, and I love her so much, but I hate Virgo energy. I hate Virgos.
Yeah.
I hate Aries.
Like, Aries, my best friend's an Aries, but her sign does not represent her. When people say their signs like represent them and they're not their actual sign, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just an Aries. That was just my personality that day. Like, no, that's not. Like, haha, no, like, nah. You can like have like characteristics of stuff that your sign says, but like you could be a Capricorn, but like your parents aren't Cap and Corn, and like you were born, like, you know, like you can have like some characteristics, but it's not all you. It's just you are a Capricorn. You're a fucking Capricorn.
Hate Cancers because we're just polar opposites. You know, Capricorns are the unemotional, hardworking, determined, not emotional at all, badass. You know what I mean?
We just like dogs.
I have to.
And I just feel like Cancers are just very emotional, not as
I'm
ambitious.
Not emotional.
Z, I think you have to look up a
Very
Cancer sign
sensitive.
online.
We're
sensitive until we're not.
Really,
We're sensitive until we're not.
I just feel like you guys play victim a lot, which is disgusting.
I do that.
You do.
Like, you're never wrong.
When I think of Cancer versus Capricorn, I feel like it's unemotional versus emotional. I feel like every single Cancer I know cries themselves to sleep every night. Like, they're so fucking sensitive.
I don't do that.
I just feel like Cancers are so fucking sensitive and I can't take it anymore. So that's why I'm going to expose them, even though they won't admit they're emotional. Have you ever cried when someone has raised their voice at you, Anna?
Yes.
Explain.
Well, I don't know. I was like really sensitive when I was a kid, and I was in a cool group of friends, like, you know, from middle school to 10th, like I had a really cool group. And it kind of sucked for me because I was friends with like 2 of the people in the group, but like all the other people were kind of bitchy. So I was like, you know, kind of like the odd one out.
So someone told you off.
I was at this girl, we're not going to mention names, C's birthday party. And this other girl, name starts with a J, was there too. And me being me, you know, like I'm a very inviting person. I'm very personable and very nice. And my friend A texted me, where are you? And my initial response wrote to her, I'm at C's birthday party. Do you want to come? But like, it wasn't my fucking birthday. C finds out I'm having this conversation with A. And then all of a sudden, J, the bitch at the party, finds this out also. I know, it's so hard. And she's like, oh my God, Anna just tried to sabotage C's birthday by inviting A. And I'm like,
so
wait, I was just trying to be friendly. Like, I didn't need to do anything. And like, Jay was obviously just trying to be mean. So in front of everybody, she stands up and says, We should record Anna Mongeluzzo crying when she starts crying after I announce this because she's stupid for inviting A.
What I would have said is we should record Anna Mongeluzzo crying because she's a stupid Cancer who cries when people bully her. Not how I work.
So
not how this is gonna go down. So, have I ever cried when someone has yelled at me? First of all, most people know not to yell at me. Second of all, when people yell at me, I yell right back at them. And instead of them making me cry, I will make you cry if you raise your voice at me. So don't fucking raise your voice at me because I will make you cry.
Oh my God, Z, that just made me really anxious.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, when people yell at me, like, first of all, you don't know who you're messing with.
Well, wait, I'm sorry. But nowadays, if somebody were to raise their voice at me, they'd either get 1, punched in the face, or 2, I'd run away because I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Or 3, I would just be like, hey, you're fucking ugly, and I'd walk away.
So, Sophia,
like, I don't really
ever cried when someone has yelled at you?
Mostly like my parents.
Your parents could be pretty intimidating.
It like hurts my feelings and it gets to me the most because they're like my one true, like, they're the people I look up to the most. I tell my mom everything. I don't tell anyone, half of the stuff I tell my mom. So.
What about Z?
Z, I tell most of the stuff. Yes.
Okay, next question. Have you ever cried when you saw an animal die in a film?
Marley and me.
Yes. Oh my God. Only animals. If it's a human, I don't cry. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Well,
if it's a dog, I cry. I get right to crying.
Here's my thing.
Marley and me, you didn't cry?
I love animals. I love dogs. I'm sure if I saw a dog die in a film, I would be upset about it. But I'm not a cheesy bitch like that. I'm not watching one of those stupid ass films to begin with.
If you watched a film with a dog that looked exactly like Jax, and the guy in the film literally had to like kill the dog, you would cry.
Things really took a turn. First of all, no dog looks like Jax because we all know my dog is a Belgian Shepherd, which is the cuter version of a German Shepherd. Every other Shepherd I know is not as cute as my dog. So I will never.
No, that's true. That's true. That's 100% true. Jax is one of the cutest dogs I've ever seen.
Period. Have you ever cried because you were so stressed?
Yes.
In like middle school.
Yeah, in like middle school. Well, the thing is, I don't really get stressed that often. I'm kind of.
I don't either, but if I have a lot of work, I'll cry.
I feel like dumb people don't get sad as often. It's true if you think about it.
Wait, did you say dumb people don't get sad as often?
Yeah, because they can't comprehend stuff as well.
They don't like sense their emotions. Yes, I agree.
Have you ever cried because of a death of someone you didn't even know? If I don't know them, why the hell do I care?
I've never cried about that.
Anna?
No.
What?
The Peanut Gallery says she has.
She's a Pisces.
Oh,
wait.
That's a different podcast.
You're
Don't
Pisces,
even get me
my
started.
What was the question?
Caitlin's Pisces.
Cried because of a death of someone you don't even know.
Are you kidding? Like a movie?
Oh my God, like you've never seen someone post for like a relative and you cry?
No.
I should fucking be on this podcast. I'm the biggest crier on the fucking planet.
We have
Oh
a
my
guest
God,
right now.
Sam, get on here. Why isn't she on?
I'm literally a Cancer and cry over everything.
Okay, Sam, why aren't you on? Okay, can you fucking sit on the couch then? Come
Emily,
on.
be a switch.
Well, no, I'm not saying switch. I'm saying both of you. Come on.
I'm interrupting this game to introduce everyone another Cancer that I'm friends with. I don't know why I keep surrounding myself with this horrific sign, but Emily, come join the podcast.
Woo!
Guys.
Oh my God, this is like a Cancer fest right now. I'm gonna lose my mind if I don't get out of here in like 5 minutes.
Wait, we're all Cancers? This is psychotic. Yeah. We're psychotic.
I'm not a Cancer.
Well, me and Sophia like hate each other every day because we're Cancers. So.
But then we get into fights and then we don't speak about it and just move on.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever cried because someone else was crying that made you cry?
When people cry, it makes me very uncomfortable. And I laugh.
Yeah.
When people cry, no, it doesn't make me cry when other people cry.
It depends.
If it was my mom, I would cry.
If it's my parents, yes. But like other times I like don't.
If it's your friend complaining about a breakup, you're not gonna cry with her. But if it's your mom, then yeah, for me too.
Okay. The thing with me is like once you're crying, people I'm friends with, like we're like 19, 20, 21 at this point. If you're crying, it's probably over something stupid.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like put on a pair, grow up. Oh my God, put on a pair of balls. Who the fuck says that? Grow a pair of balls.
I've never heard
and
that.
Man up. Don't be an idiot. I agree. But at the same time, like shit gets hard when you're older too. Like 20, 21, 22 is like a year to like, that's like the age to transition into like your full on adult self. So honestly, people who are graduating right now are feeling so much stress and pressure, like moving on to the next step. It's like scary.
You ever cried for no reason at all?
No.
Yes. Yes, all the
Why?
time.
What do you
Literally all the
What does that
time.
even mean?
I don't know. Like it just
Crying,
fucking
yeah, like,
happens. Like
Stop.
I'll be sitting in bed and I'll be thinking about the fact that I have to do math today, and I'll remember that math is really hard for me, and I'll start crying. I'll shed a tear and then be done.
I saw a commercial for a car and I started crying. It was like a car commercial. I literally started crying.
I cry at the dog commercials.
There's a lot
like
of things I
dogs.
do for no reason, a lot of things, and crying is not one of them.
No, I cry. And I don't cry a lot, but when I do, it like helps almost. It's weird. I don't know.
So, conclusion is that Cancers cry more than Capricorn.
You're
Capricorns.
not a theme. Like
Wait,
you
when's
just are
your
your own
birthday?
person. Like you are just your own. You can't fit into one of the categories. I feel like you're just your own person.
Wait, when's your birthday?
The 15th of January.
I don't know a Capricorn. Like I don't.
You know me.
Now I do. I'm saying.
I know a lot of Capricorns.
I know
a lot
so
of
many.
Cancers and Capricorns and Aries. It pisses me the off when people go about themselves by their sign. Like they think that they are their sign. Like no, like you might have like characteristics or like similar things with your sign, but like that's not who you are.
It's not like you
like,
were
you
born
know.
because you were born that day that decides your personality. I hate.
Right? No.
It needs to be a 13th sign.
Gemini rising.
day.
Like, what?
13th sign.
What is it?
It starts with an O. They just made it.
Olsen, Z.
Wait, guys, do you know like the 777-222-111 shit?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking. Wait, what
Yes,
is
I do.
What is it? What is that?
It's like for manifesting. If you see those numbers a lot and like you like manifested those numbers, it means like it's working.
I'm sorry, but like, what the hell is manifesting? Like, my friends do it all the time. Like, I know what it is, but it's almost like just living your fucking life, basically. What is manifesting? Please, someone tell me.
Okay, it's basically just like putting something into the universe. Like,
Okay, that's already stupid as shit. What do you mean putting something into the
You're writing it so many times, so like it happens. Like
it's like me and you saying like we're going clubbing this summer. That's me putting it in the universe that like we will be going clubbing this summer.
Okay, so if I say like I'm gonna be a billionaire tomorrow with a golden Rolls Royce, and you know, my parents will be down here. Is that gonna happen in 2 days if I wanted to?
Definitely more manifest.
I don't get the point.
if it's 11/11, I'm like fuck. Like I actually.
Here's
don't
my
hate. Like,
thing
I'm
about 11/11.
Right. Same. If it's 11/11, I freak out, but I
really,
will not like
don't say
manifest
anything
for
else
shit.
but your wish, because if
Wait,
you actually say something
parent,
stupid, it will come
pause.
true.
I literally make like 30 different wishes when I see the phone turn to
Yeah.
11/11.
And after each one, I have to say wish
Peanut
sent. I literally have to say wish sent after
Peanut,
so
get
sent.
the fucking ass in here. Oh.
Who are you speaking to like that, Z?
Gallery.
Oh, her name's Mallory. I
Why
love that
are you
name.
drunk?
Wait, here's my thing about 11/11 wishes. I used to always make 11/11 wishes, and the complete opposite would happen.
Wait, you're not wrong.
Like I would like wish. I would be like, I wish
like-
that my mom is so nice today, and then she'll come into my room screaming like, Zachary, what the fuck are you doing? Like you're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I just started either not making 11/11 wishes, or I'll wish for something that is like the opposite of what I want to happen.
Why would you do that?
Because every time I make a
Because every time he makes a wish, the opposite of what he wants happens.
Wait, want to hear something crazy?
yeah.
I believe that the dreams that you don't remember in the morning, it's because it means it's actually gonna happen, and when it does happen, that's when you get deja vu. So like the dreams that you don't remember, it's because it's like actually gonna happen. Then
Yes.
when you get deja vu, and then you're like, oh my god.
100%.
Yeah, it's different.
Wait, what's the Mandela effect?
Mandela
then?
effect is like if you saw like a logo for something and it looked a certain way, and then like all
Oh,
of a
so then that's not the
You
word
gotta
I'm talking
be different,
about
you're
then. There's a
like-
different word.
Like the Berenstein Bears. That's a big one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Maybe the word is deja vu and I'm just mixing shit up in my head and not remembering.
I don't know
what
if
I'm
there's a name
thinking.
for it, because I thought I made it
Like,
up. I thought it
like
was cool.
an example of the Mandela
You know
effect,
what?
like Kit Kat. Like some people, like you think it's like Kit dash cat, but there's no dash.
And then you're like, what?
And then you're like,
Yeah.
interesting.
So one thing I did notice, which is like really, really weird, you know how like you get nightmares and shit? So one of my like reoccurring nightmares, like close to me and Justin's breakup and like a little bit after it was, so like I walk into this, I don't want to call it like a stadium because it's not a stadium. It's just like this, almost like a big frat house. That's not actually a frat house. And he's in there with like all these people. And every time I walk in and I go to say hi to him, he doesn't remember who I am. He doesn't remember like at all like who I am, and he's always like talking to girls on the side of him. And so and it's a reoccurring dream, and he doesn't remember. And so now when I think back, I'm like, okay, so that house actually is the beta frat house. The guys in the house are the ones in his fraternity, and the two girls that he's talking to are the girls that he was best friends with before he started dating me. And that's why it's such a PTSD effect, because everything in the dream, like, it's not like it was a frat house. It's not like the friends were his frat friends. It's not like the two girls were the actual two girls that were his best friend in real life. But it's like, you know, it's like a PTSD type of a thing where like it makes the reality into the dream. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, wait.
Like,
wait, was anyone else like not listening to anything she just said?
oh my God, what?
Yeah. Sorry, I could not pay it. I was like, what the she's even saying?
No, okay, so I'm saying like things in real life you will dream about and they'll be put in a different form in your dream.
Do you have any plans for like the Super Bowl?
Ow, my leg.
I do. I'm going to my friend's house in like 2 hours and I think we're gonna drink.
Do you like The Weeknd?
The Weeknd as in like The Weeknd, the band The Weeknd?
He's not a band, he's a singer.
Okay, yes. Why?
He's halftime performance.
Oh shit. I'm so excited.
What's your favorite halftime performance?
Probably Beyonce. Beyonce. By
Pretty
far
good one.
Beyonce.
Pretty good.
By far. Are you kidding? She topped everything. Beyonce.
In a gallery, what's your favorite?
Favorite what?
Halftime show.
J-Lo and Shakira.
That was a good one.
What was it?
Yeah.
Shakira and J-Lo?
Yeah, but to be fair, that was a great halftime show performance, but anyone who says that's their favorite clearly has only seen that Super Bowl.
Yeah. Did you see Beyonce?
Like last year was definitely her first time watching the big game.
Tell her to watch Beyonce's performance and then rethink her decision.
Conclusion is you're more emotional than me, which means that you have no place on this podcast, so get to step in. You're done.
Love you, Sophia.
Love you.
She won't be back on a future episode unless she wants.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about vegans. It'll be Thanksgiving, and my aunt will always bring her little tray and table of like all her different vegan things.
Yeah.
Like she'll bring her little like vegan pie, her vegan salad, her vegan, main course, whatever she decides to make. And, everyone kind of walks past the display and they're like, oh, like it's so pretty. Like, like the setup is so pretty. The food is so gorgeous, but like, who wants to eat this right now? Like, we want to enjoy our time. And I understand, like, it may make you feel better, like, to be vegan. I personally couldn't be vegan. I don't think.
Yeah. The thing about vegan and vegetarians is like, have you ever met like a bad person who's a vegan? Like, I feel like they're the best people. Like
best people. Like my friend from here, Tatiana, she's vegan. And I feel like they're very understanding people because most people do not eat vegan foods. And the people that do are very understanding towards animal cruelty and like the worst of the worst that could happen in the world. And I feel like that helps with just chemistry with other people, making personable connections, and just being a kind-hearted person in general, I feel like is what, I feel like most vegans are that.
Yeah.
To say.
The thing is, I rarely even eat meat, and people will be like, Z, like, since when are you a vegetarian? Like, I'm not a vegetarian. I just don't even really like meat that much.
So can we tell stories about how when we were little and tried to flirt, but like we couldn't really flirt because we didn't really know how and we were a little uncomfortable back in the day? Yeah. So that was
How
me.
young is that? Is that like elementary or like middle school?
This is like 4th grade.
Okay.
So it was lunchtime and we were
East
all
Hills.
eating. Huh?
East Hills.
Yes, it was lunchtime. So me and Z both live in Roslyn, and our elementary school is called East Hill. Well, there's East Hills and then there's Harbor Hill, and we both went to East Hills because we live close to each other. And so this guy that I had a crush on, literally from dude, like, I'm not even kidding, whoever's watching this, I had a crush on this guy all the way up until like junior year, and then I realized like he kind of looked like a booger and he ate them, and he was also like not really that, whatever. How old were you in like 4th grade? Like 12?
Younger.
Okay,
Like
11?
9 or 10.
And
Or
so this
11? I don't fucking know.
something like that. So this guy is sitting next to me, and I'm like, like just fantasizing over being with him. And we were eating lunch, and he had left some chip crumbs on his desk. Being me, I looked over at the chip crumbs, and I was like, you know, I've always wanted to try those chips.
Ew, Anna.
It's also probably like the closest I'll get to like actually kissing. So I literally
So weird.
So I literally ate a crumb off of his desk of the chip to try the chip / because his mouth low-key touched the crumb, and I was so fucking attracted to him. And I ate it.
I didn't even know you could feel that in 4th grade. I know why. Because in elementary school, they made...
You're screaming!
So shut the door! In elementary school, you know, you want to... They separated at lunch. You had to sit boy, girl.
Oh my God, they did do that.
Like boy,
oh my God.
boy, girl.
No, but
You
no.
fucking wonder why shit happens.
I think they did that because when we're that young, we really don't know how to act around other people. Plus, like, girls can make fun of guys can make fun of girls. They could, like, you know, like, say each other has cooties. Like, I almost feel like if I sat at a table with my crush, like, I'd be staring at him and I'd be being bullied for, like, legitimately having freckles on my face at that age. Like, I don't even know.
Also,
I feel like guys and girls just...
Lunch is, like, the worst place for shit to go down because, like, I have videos when we were seniors in high school, we did like the senior walk, and I like went to like look at like the cafeteria of the elementary school when I was like 18, and it was hell. I was like, this is what entering hell looks like.
It's like so uncomfortable. As a youngster, I was an extra help, still am, different form. I would get called out of class to take my tests with the other people who needed extra time. It was a little uncomfortable for me in a way when the teacher came to my classroom full of 24 students and took me and 3 other people out of the class
So
and
awkward.
legitimately
I had the same thing.
Legitimately like came around to like collect us to go like
And
take
I
the
have
test.
the funniest story. You know how in elementary school they had like those separate things? It was like reading help, math help, and speech help.
Yeah.
So I never went to any of those helps, but like in elementary school, I had like those phases where like I would like talk silly and I would be stupid. Like sometimes in elementary school, like I would be silly and say weird things. And then some people in the class would be like, Z, like you need to go to speech. Like you should go to speech. And I'm like, LOL, like I need to go to speech. Meanwhile, I always spoke fine. And then one day I get called out like, Z, you need to go to speech. I'm like,
what did you have wrong with your speech?
Nothing. I was being silly in class.
Okay. We're going to be talking about cops. Fuck 12. Fuck 12. Literally, I hate 12. 12 is not
12?
good. The cops, police.
What does 12 mean? Is that like a thing?
Yeah, like fuck 12. Like...
Wait, I don't know why people say it, but
I
yeah.
just feel like at the club, everyone's like, fuck the police. Fuck the police. And I'm like, yeah, f*** they ain't shutting me down.
Bitch. Anyway, so me and Jen were going literally like 20 miles over the speed limit, which is bad, not great, but not terrible.
I just got pulled over for going only 20 miles over the speed limit.
So we're going literally that fast. He's coming this way. We're going this way. So like he sees my car once he like whatever. All of a sudden his sirens go off, follows me. I'm like, fuck. So we have to pull over. Cop gets out. Hottest cop I've ever seen in my entire life. I actually have never seen a hotter cop. Like he literally looked like Marky Mark. Like I've never seen a hotter car. Like I was like freaking out. Comes up to the car. I'm like, okay, listen, like I know you pulled me over, but I just need to tell you something. And by the way, like for the people watching this, this is a really good way to get out of a, you know, scenario like this.
I've gotten out of a ticket every time I've been pulled over.
Listen. If you have finesse, you could probably pull this off. If you don't try it. Do not try it at home. So I literally look at the cop. I'm like, oh my God, like like I know like you pulled me over, but I had a lot going on lately. So can I just give you the rundown of my week really quick? I mean, and he looked my age. I don't even know. He was like, yeah, fine. Give me the rundown. So I'm like, well, let me just tell you what happened. My boyfriend broke up with me. I had to get my car towed back to High Point. I lost my credit card. I got another parking ticket, and he looks back at Jen, and all of a sudden Jen is like, wait a second, how old are you? And he's like, wait, why does it matter? And I go, wait a second. And he looks at me, I go, I bet I could guess your age. And he goes, really? How old do you think I am? I'm like, you look to me like you're 20. So we were literally just like distracting him the entire time, talking to him about like our week. I go, you look like you're 20. He goes, close, but no. I go, wait. Let me back up. Give me a second. And I look at him for like another second and I'm like, 26. And he's like, ma'am, I turn 27 next week. Are you kidding me? I'm like, really?
And he's like 20.
Yeah. I'm like, does that mean I still get a ticket? He goes, no.
Yeah. I mean, I always get out of speeding tickets because every time I get pulled over, I'm always like, please, I have nothing on my record. Like, it'll never happen again. This is the first time I've been pulled over. Because, like, it only goes in your record if you get a ticket, not if you've been pulled over.
Right.
So, like, since every time I get pulled over and they want to give me a ticket, I'm like, my record's clean. I've never been pulled over. They're always like, fine, like I don't want to mess up your record. That's because literally whenever I'm pulled over, I never get a ticket because I always say this is my first time getting pulled over. Because never recorded.
Yeah, dead ass. And like we literally guessed this.
Once you get your first ticket, you're gonna get a ticket. Like a lot of other times you get pulled over. But like if you have never gotten a ticket, like milk it.
So the other day I was parked in Food Lion, and Food Lion is, in the mall, like shopping area across from my school. So I'm about to like pull out. And as I'm pulling out of Food Lion, I literally I back out like 2 inches. I look behind me. There was no one coming. All of a sudden, this BMW, or it was an Audi, like car though, not crossover, not truck. Thank God, because I probably would be fucking dead.
Thank God.
Like smashed into the back of my car so hard, my whole car rotates all the way to the right, like just rotates like this. I literally my hat tips to the side. I'm like in the car and I fully rotate. So I'm like, holy did I hit someone? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So I turned around and the entire side of that guy's car was just fucked. It was all smashed in. He smashed right into the side back of my car, pummeled it.
Yeah.
And the cop ended up blaming it on me, which is the funny part, because that guy ended up calling the cops. He was actually in the wrong, but he was the one to freak out and be like, oh, I'm calling the cops. And so when the cop came, he literally blamed me for the entire thing, which was just excellent. But now insurance is paying for it, so we're good.
Yeah, I got my code card once. I'll tell you this. I was going, the town of I was going to eat at La Bottega, but I parked in the Kotobuki parking lot. You know what I'm talking about? So the La Bottega parking lot is the worst parking lot in this town. You cannot, I'm a bad parker as it is. When you're like me, you cannot park in this parking lot. So I'm like, you know what? There's a parking lot right next to it. That's huge. So I'm like, I'll just park there and walk over. So I park there and walk over, eat my dinner. It's lovely. Walk back. My car is just not in the spot. I'm like, I'm blinking. I'm like, did I park somewhere else? Did I park over there? But I realized my car's not there. It's towed. So I call the towing company. I'm like, come back right now. This is ridiculous. I didn't do anything wrong. They come back with my car. They were like, you're supposed to read the signs. I'm like, what sign says I can't park here and walk literally steps down to the next restaurant? And they point me to where the sign is. I'm like, it is the smallest sign in the biggest parking lot. I'm like,
my God.
You expect me to circumnavigate the entire parking lot and read every single word that is shown so I know exactly what to follow. And that's why I hate towing companies. They are just out to get people and they ruin people's days and nights. And honestly, I doubt anyone who's a tower for a living, I doubt they're happy individuals, because what they do for a living is ruin other people's days. So
by the way, I say that all the time.